First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yehoshua Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Yahweh to this world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai to this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Ba'Hashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's all in the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the other bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. In today's video, I wanted to go into how they are taking away the dainties. Okay, they are taking away the food stamps. Okay, all the extra goodies that, United States of America has given you people, they are stripping those things away. And this video is inspired by this article right here. It says Trump administration freezes $10 billion in child family aid to 5 states over fraud concerns. And we saw how it was a couple months ago, they completely shut down the SNAP. When the government shut down, they stopped the funding for like a whole month, I believe. And they said, yep, no SNAP. Anybody that had, help from the government, were taking all that money away. And in an instant, you saw all these black women, you saw all these people going online, making TikTok videos, talking about how am I supposed to support my family, and you can't do this, and talking about how I'm not going to go to work, the government needs to pay me. Just a bunch of confusion, and it showed how reliant the people are upon the system. And the system taking away one little goodie bag, and the people go crazy. So what we're seeing here is that it says the Trump administration froze $10 billion in grant funds for child care and family assistance programs in 5 states because of serious concerns about widespread fraud in state-administered programs. All 5 states targeted by the freeze, California, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York, are led by Democrats. The action applies to 3 programs overseen by the U.S. Health and Human Services Department Administration for Children and Families, Child Care and Development Fund, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, and Social Services Grant. And, that deals with your food, that deals with, aid towards people that, supposedly need it. Now, when you go into, it says how, is the fraud happening? It doesn't say exactly in this article, but I do know that, people that normally get these type of programs, they lie to get, a majority of these people lie in order to get those benefits. They'll, I've seen it firsthand, that they'll put that, they're not working, and, they'll continuously keep putting that, but, on the side, they'll have a job, under the table making money. But, if they were to report that, they would lose, that unemployment or whatever, because they have employment. So, the government is cracking down on all those types of things and really digging their nails deeper to see if everything is being ran correctly. And, with that comes them cracking down and taking away, your so-called aid, which we told you that's going to happen, how, these Edomites are going to start cracking down on you Jakes and taking away everything that you believe has been given to you. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 19, and I'll start at verse, let's go to Isaiah 30. Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 2, it says, start 1, it says, woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Right, all these, Israelites that go down to the government, go down to America, to the welfare system, to, just rely upon this place, instead of asking Yahweh Ba'Shem Yehoshua for their daily necessities. It says in verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Right, so that trust in the system eventually is going to turn to your demise, because this system will turn on you. Okay, and this system is not meant to uplift you Israelites. Okay, in contrary, it's meant to destroy you. Hey, that's why it says in Micah, "Hey, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. It is polluted, and shall destroy you with the sword destruction." So, you gotta disconnect from this place as much as you can, because once you're relying upon this place, that's when they can pull the strings and they can pull the strings to make you do what they want you to do. Here it is, all these people on these food stamps. If they start telling them, oh, you need to take the chip, or you need to get the latest V to keep getting your daily stipends or monthly, checks. You need to take the latest V. All these people run down to Babylon to take it. So it's best you completely disconnect the most you can, because it's control over you. And at the end of the day, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is the ultimate provider. Now let's go to how eventually all these things will run out. 2nd Ezra 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear in sown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Right, so there will be a time where, everything runs out, right? Even that aid. Just how we saw, government shutting down 1 month, people going crazy, just wait till the whole, country shuts down. It says that the sown places, which would be your superstores, your gasoline stores, Walmart's, Costco's, BJ's, all those places are going to be suddenly found empty when people realize that they can't find food, that everything is down. People are going to raid the stores. Full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And one day, Walmarts are going to be ransacked because the lack of food. It says that in 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right, so people are going to be going crazy because they lack food. They lack, what they need to survive. And for great tribulation, right, hard times. Which that's something that, people are not talking about. Everybody is talking about how, the future of America with AI and things are going to, revolutionize. They're thinking 30, 50, 70-year plan. The majority of people are not looking at this place to be destroyed, which that's the mindset you're supposed to be in. It talks about that in 2nd Peter chapter 3 and verse 12. It says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Right, so we're supposed to be looking for the day that this place gets destroyed, because verse 13, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Right, so in order for the kingdom to come, this place has to go. And the mentality every single elected member should have out there is, looking for the signs of this place cracking. And let me tell you, this is one of those signs. When the administration is cracking down on money that, fraud and, all those things, it means that, money is running slim. Because when America, was being flooded with dollars coming in, we're just vicariously spending. Fraud was happening left and right, and they weren't doing nothing about it because there was so much money. But now that you see all these problems kicking off, we see how slowly but surely they're going to start tightening, what you have, until eventually, you have nothing and you are happy. As Klaus Schwab said, he said, you will own nothing and be happy, which that's their NWO, that you're fully reliant upon that system. But so Trump administration freezes $10 billion in child family aid to 5 states over fraud concerns. They're going to start squeezing more and more, and eventually you're going to have to take that chip. So just a little quick article here. Hopefully this was edifying. With that, and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushua, B'Hashem Makakwadash, and double honors to the other bishops and apostles of great millstone at the time of this truth. Shalom to you, like, shalom.